Hello, everybody, and welcome to the top 5 new comics for November 2nd and 3rd of 2021. I'm, as always, Chris, and boy howdy, it's November, everybody. The year goes by faster every time. Before we start, I gotta do it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button down below, and comment as well. And I appreciate you doing that. But enough of all that stuff. Let's get into these comics, starting with Dark Knights of Steel, number 1. This is written by Tom Taylor, with art by Art-Yasmine Putri. Tom Taylor is enough for me to check out a book, for the most part. Absolutely love Deceased. Huge fan of his series based on the DC fighting game. Everything. I mean, the dude does stuff so well. Injustice was such a great series. We always joked it was the 4-issue mini that could. And he's the king of the alternate universe. I mean, I know people are liking Son of Kal-El. I'm not a big John Kent fan, so I didn't dig it as much. I know people are loving Nightwing. Once again, not a big Nightwing fan, so I didn't dig that either. But Tom Taylor's is an extremely talented writer, like beyond a shadow of a doubt. And from the pages I've seen, Art-Yasmine Putri is a hell of an artist. I think this is a great team. I love the premise. It's the DC universe in medieval times. Medieval Batman, medieval Superman. I mean, yeah. It's such a cool idea. Let's do it. And boy, everybody, there's a alternate cover. I think it's a store exclusive cover, and it's Batman sitting on a throne. And DC, make it a poster, please. I want it. Looking forward to this book so much. After that, we got Human Target, number 1. This is written by Tom King, with art by Greg Smallwood. Anybody out there knows Tom King and Tom Taylor get like mixed up for each other on Twitter. It's fun if you follow both of them to watch it. They're different people. And so Tom King. I always say I fall into this trap, but I'm probably going to fall into it again. Human Target's a character I'm not familiar with. I learned about it from Todd Roker from Longbox Heroes, as he was on my podcast, told me all about it when this book was announced. And it's a cool concept, and I like the art that we're getting here. Tom King is a very talented guy. I think Tom King's biggest flaw is that his books just read so much better in trade as one big thing. And I wanted to point this book out because I am looking forward to it. It's one of those scenarios where I want to point it out so people saw it, but I personally will be trade waiting for it. So just full transparency on that. But the JLI is in this book, so it's going to be real hard for me not to just poke in and see. You'll probably end up seeing me reading it next week because I just love the JLI so much. But yeah, it seems like a cool book. It's also not in continuity. It's a Black Label book, so I love Black Label. Black Label does, like, what they're doing over there is cool. I don't think I've read a single Black Label book I didn't like, so that says a lot, personally. So yeah, Human Target looks really cool. After that, we've got Newburn, number 1. This is written by Chip Zdarsky, with a backup feature by Nadia Shamas, with art from Jacob Phillips. So, Newburn's not on a lot of people's radar. And honestly, I forgot about it, and I'm glad it got back on my radar. Because Chip has earned the right to... Chip could write whatever he wants, and I will pick up at least the first 2 issues. till the end of time. If Chip does the Deadpool series, I will pick it up. And if you're new to me, I do not like Deadpool. But that isn't the case here. He is going right up my alley. Directly to it, knocking on the door of my alley. So this is a crime noir book about a private detective who's got to deal with the mafia and all kinds of weird things. And that's being drawn by Jacob Phillips, son of Sean Phillips, hands down the best crime noir artist in the business, who does a lot of work with Ed Brubaker, the best crime noir writer in the business. So Jacob's done some books like That Texas Blood. He does some coloring and other things for his father's books. He's a very talented person who has different enough style from his father, but he still like fits right into that mold. So I'm just so down. I'm down 100%. I feel like this is going to be one of my new favorite books. It's Chip, my favorite writer currently going, doing like mainstream stuff, and the son of my favorite artist. So, or one of my favorite artists. I have a lot of favorite artists. I think I say that a little bit too loosely, but yeah. So I just, dude, crime noir, Chip Zdarsky, Jacob Phillips, Image Comics. I'm in. I'm down. Let's do it. 100%. This is such a good week, everybody. If you're new to comics, I'm naming it. The next one's gonna be number one as well. I'm naming 4 number ones in a row that are going to be stellar. I guarantee that they'll be stellar. Next week's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited for next week. After that, we've got My Bad, number 1. This is from Ahoy Comics, written by Mark Russell and Bryce Ingram, with art by Peter Krause. So what is My Bad, everybody? What is My Bad? So it's a spoof on superhero stuff. It's hard to, I don't want to give the book away too much, but it's a superhero spoof book. It's Mark Russell. So if you are not a big fan of political commentary or political satire, stay away from Mark Russell's stuff. But if those things don't bother you and you enjoy them being done, arguably the best in the business, Mark Russell's your man. I love Mark Russell's work. I love, he has such a smart way of dealing with these issues and talking about these different branches of politics. And it's very obvious what his stance is. I don't think he holds back from it, and good for him on that. Whether you agree or disagree with him, he still finds just such good, unique, and interesting ways to twist those into the story. So Mark's another guy. He gets a shot every time he puts a book up. I'll be honest, I believe this is a book that's in my inbox right now, waiting to be reviewed. But I like Mark Russell stuff. And Ahoy, if you're not familiar with Ahoy Comics, they're kind of I would say a C-tier publisher. And that's not a quality statement. That's a statement on how much stuff they put out. And they put out stuff sporadically, not even sporadically. They put out probably 2, 3, max 4 books at a time. So not doing a ton of stuff. It's all creator owned. And they do kind of the seasons model. So some of their stuff might be a 5-issue mini and it's done. But like Wrong Earth, if you never read Wrong Earth, go check out Wrong Earth. That's been going on for 3 or 4 years now, I believe. Phenomenal book, but it's done seasons. So the first volume is the first season, second volume is the second season, and they always re-up it with a new number 1. And it's a cool model. And they've got kind of their tight-knit group just making cool comics, and I like it. And Mark got brought in during Second Coming when that got dropped from Vertigo, and he's been doing fun stuff there ever since. like I said, Second Coming's great. I believe Billionaire Island was done with Ahoy. He's done a few other stuff. So yeah, good stuff. Like Mark Russell's stuff. And I'll say this too. Everybody's probably saying, superhero spoof, okay, whatever. We see it a million times. It's comics. If you have any trepidation on that, I would suggest picking up Mark's run on the Wonder Twins. And stick with me here. His run on the Wonder Twins is just sensational. It's phenomenal. It was one of my favorite books for a long time. That was mainstay DC in continuity stuff, and it was just wonderful. So that's another reason why when he touches the superhero thing, I'm going to pay a little more attention, because it was such a unique book. Like nothing else like it on the market, and to this day, nothing else. Hopefully, this is something like it. So yeah, my bad. Check it out. We're going to end with the only non-number one this week, but it's well deserved because it is Primordial, number 2. This is written by Jeff Lemire with art by Art-Andrea Sorrentino. That's right. The award-winning team that brought you Gideon Falls and an amazing run on Green Arrow is back. So a few weeks ago, we talked about another Art-Andrea Sorrentino book. He must have been busy during lockdown. It was a Batman title that he knocked out of the park. First issue of this was it's an alternate universe 1950s maybe. So right as the space race is starting to pick up. So Soviet Union sends a dog up space, so we have to one up them, so we send monkeys into space. None of them ever come back, but now they are. And in this alternate timeline, we're introduced this character who has to help dismantle NASA. So around the time where they would have kind of hyped up their production and led towards landing a man on the moon, they decided instead to shut it down and move on because of the missing animals in space and something that happened, blah, blah, blah. But we learned in the first issue they're not dead. So something else is happening here. And I like the world we're in. I always like alternate timeline stuff. It's fun in our real world to take a moment in our history and branch off, do a what if you will, a what if of real life. And that's what they're doing here. And Jeff Lemire, another super talented dude who writes amazing comics, Art-Andrea Sorrentino, just a phenomenally talented person, talented human. And if you haven't read Gideon Falls, I'm still trying to finish it, but those first couple of volumes are fantastic, and I've heard that it ends pretty well as well. So make sure to check that out as well. But yeah, Primordial, awesome book. Really looking forward to number 2. So yes, everybody, we were at the end. I know this is a long one, but I had to gush a little bit because I'm so excited about some of these books, all of these books. Don't mean to tip my cap, but you can usually tell when I'm super passionate about a book when I kind of ramble on a little bit. And we had 4 of them this week. So everybody, make sure to go check out the podcast, Fortress Comic News. We usually interview creators on there. You can always find those interviews on our YouTube channel as well. If you were there, check those out there. And yeah, we talk about the news. We talk about life, liberty. Not really, just comics. It's a fun show. I enjoy doing it, and I hope you enjoy listening to it. So thank you so much for watching this week, and I'll see you all here next week.